Mhm.
All right, so just give me a wide shot there. Forward shot is good. You've got the phone.
You need the link?
All right.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you.
I'll send it to you.
Which one?
Yep, I see it. I see it. Ready iPhone? You guys ready? Check my iPhone.
Hello and welcome back to Shields Field Stadium for the quick turnaround for Fort Wayne FC. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Caleb Saylor. Joining me this evening, color commentator Ken Harkenrider. Ken, good evening to you.
Great to be back here at Shields Field.
Yeah, certainly so. And I'm really happy that we're in an air-conditioned press box right now because I do not want to be outside. It is approximately 95 degrees Fahrenheit here in Fort Wayne, probably 100% humidity. I mean, it's not raining and it's not foggy, but it sure feels that way.
Clearly the main storyline tonight, the heat. I was thinking about it on the way over to the stadium tonight. Got to be a meteorologist. Dream 24 hours, right? You got storm alerts and lightning alerts and tornado alerts.
Let me tell you, Ken, I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired after the past 24 hours, but you know what? We're on the other side of it. So your starting lineup for Fort Wayne FC, starting back in goal, is Joe Bowles. Joe Bowles has been out for a couple of matches. I think he's been injured is what I've heard, but I've not really heard much more about it.
Big guy back in there tonight.
Yeah, another start for Hillary Otiambo, second match in a row.
I think as well, see Riley Lynch get the nod here tonight. So,
Yeah.
Coach Avery shaking it up just a little bit, see if we can get some new creativity running up in the front.
And Fort Wayne will be looking to do the double over Dayton. Just last week, they defeated Dayton 5-0. But it's a new week, it's a new game, and anything can happen.
Yeah, and we saw that with South Bend, and we went to South Bend and took a W, but couldn't defend it here last Tuesday evening on Saturday. Sorry, against South Bend. Here we are. So kind of a disappointing showing in general. So hopefully the boys can put it together tonight.
Once again, as always, thank you to our sponsors of the match and the live feed, ProFed, Fort Wayne Newspapers, and Baden, Gage, and Hardin. Thank you very much for sponsoring us for the season. It's been very nice to be able to do this, so hopefully they're getting their money's worth just as much as we're getting our money's worth here.
Yeah, and just, again, beyond the financial, just great to have the community support. Lots of sponsors and other folks volunteering and doing what they can to be a part of this local movement. Appreciate all that.
So the extra support has showed up in the rest of the Fort Wayne FC players who aren't dressing tonight. Chit-chatting with the Dayton players. I don't know if they're probably teammates, I have to imagine, Forster Ajago and one of the Dayton players on the bench. So just real quick, your starting lineup for Dayton Dutch Lions, and as always, I apologize for mispronunciations. Frank Dufitz Umukiza, Saul Fernandez Moran, Edward Kolesnikov, Preston Mahaffey, Reed Mikhailovich, Grant Murray, Niles Roth, Dominic Ruffalo, Brady Shapiro, and Jeffrey Tuanisi.
It'd be nice to get out to a great start this evening, and you got to figure fatigue is going to factor in pretty quickly with the heat on the field. So see if Fort Wayne can get off to a good start, establish a lead, and be able to settle back in a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how fast you want to start in a match like this. It's certainly very hot, and it's going to take a lot out of them to be playing on the turf. So long ball from Sproat finds Abramson. Ball only falls as far as Frank. Abramson's fouled on the edge of the box. It's going to be a free kick very deep in the attacking third. I'm not sure this is the best distance or not. You're at that distance of where you're starting to encroach on your ability to get the ball up and down over the wall. So both Sproat and Abramson standing over it.
Big fan of putting it in that
Harris,
dangerous goal mouth area and flood that area with a lot of bodies.
Shots away, and it's a goal from Abramson in the second minute here at Shields Field Stadium, putting Fort Wayne FC up 1-0. I was questioning whether Abramson was going to be the one to take it or Harris in a good position. It's a great spot for a left-footed, but Abramson slots it into the top corner and puts Fort Wayne up very quickly here at home.
Boy, he found that upper 90 pretty well there. Finishes it with a plum. Great start. So they're exactly what we wished for, huh? Just a quick start.
Wish for a couple more, too, from us.
Hey, Sujan! Richie, right shoulder! Richie!
Offsides called against Fort Wayne there. And on paper, this is a match that Fort Wayne should win every time. Dayton is the bottom of the table. They are goalless in their past several matches. And the only points they've gotten so far this season is a 3-3 draw with Cleveland.
But as we know, Caleb, you don't play on paper, do you?
Nope.
And, the longer you allow teams like that to remain in the match until you put it away definitively, strange things can then happen where the momentum shifts and you find yourself struggling to come away with a win that you should have had. So, again, hopefully we maintain some good, solid attack moving front and back together as a unit and take care of business tonight.
Abramson once again on the ball, delivers the switch out to Lobsiger. Lobsiger able to keep it in. Here's Casas.
Nice ball from Abramson. He's having a nice opening to this match tonight. First goal of the season for Tom, and hopefully continues to have that magic touch on the ball.
So a player we haven't mentioned tonight, but you're certainly not going to miss out there once the camera pans to him. Joe Bowles. Man, looks like a highlighter out there. I can't even tell if there's a sponsor on his shirt. Ken, the shirt and the white color is just so bright. Hard to miss.
Sure, if my memo was correct, I think he just came in from a deer hunting expedition.
He thought a rabbit. Here's Sprout. Yeah, Fort Wayne doing well to maintain possession, not rush anything.
And they'd be wise to let the ball do most of the roaming tonight.
Yes.
Get your balance and spread out the field a little bit and let the ball roll and save your energy for those runs forward.
So the pass from
here now, and now
Ajibade.
good recovery defensively. Slowing them back down here. That's
nice little poke through from the Dayton player. Manthe, but Dayton not able to get on to the end of it. Throw in nonetheless. It's the first time in the opening minutes Dayton has been on this deep in our half. Bowles elects to clear his line, but doesn't make it too far. Here's Casas. Does well to get away from his defender. Here's Riley Lynch. One step over. Speed beats his defender. Just kind of scuffs that pass into Barkley, but it's going to be a corner for Fort Wayne in the 8th minute.
curious to see if that's a sign of things to come from Riley Lynch there. He took his defender on pretty aggressively and ended up winning a corner kick for Fort Wayne.
And we've not seen a whole lot of him so far this season, or at least at home anyway. He has played in a couple of matches, but we haven't had the opportunity to talk about him a whole lot. So, ball delivered in. That's over the goal and going to be a goal kick. So, yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Lynch this season, at least at home. So I'll be interested to see what his game looks like. Getting a good look tonight, getting the start.
Likewise with Ben Barkley, bit of newcomer to minutes here at home. Interesting whether they're starting to show some things at training that the two of them combining well together, or whether there's some further backstory behind that change.
Here's Lynch. Harris plays the switch out to Lobsiger. Lobsiger does well to control it. Ajibade. Ooh, hard foul against Frank. Hit the ground hard. Though the turf is soft, it's not that soft. Miklovic went into the back of Frank very hard there. Didn't jump straight up, and Frank just taking a minute to recover, but seems to be all right. So the referee signaled for concussion assessment for Frank.
He came down at kind of a funky angle as well, not necessarily that he hit the ground with a huge amount of force, but kind of landed sidewise on his hip and kind of jarred the head as well. So maybe a good quick protocol there just to make sure everybody's good.
Frenchie back on the field. Of course, if you're not familiar, I'm not calling him by anything derogatory. That is his preferred nickname. We've asked in preseason, so he likes to go by Frenchie. So every once in a while, that's what we'll call him.
And as you watch the guys interact in the locker room or coming out to and from the field, clearly one of the characters and personalities of this roster, and you can tell the guys really respond to him and his energy. So
good ball over top to Abramson. Just bouncing a little bit, but was able at least to try to get a pass off to Lynch, but just a little too much on it. And especially on a day like today, not because the field surface is really any different, but mentally it's a little bit harder to bring a ball down like that. So I'm not surprised it took him one or two bounces to put it on the floor there, but nonetheless did well.
Well, we continue to see that assertive, aggressive play forward from Abramson. It's created a couple of good opportunities, a goal, of course, and a corner kick. So hopefully, as I say, he'll continue to play with that forward-moving mentality here.
That's something both Coach Avery and DeMarcus wanted out of their fullbacks, is they want that modern-day attacking fullback. Good ball into Dayton.
Thankfully, poor first touch there on that left flank, but maybe one of the downsides of having those defenders moving forward. Caught a little bit short-sighted there in the back. And a good opportunity for Dayton Dutch Lions there, but thankfully that touch went awry.
So Fort Wayne really looks like they're ready to play the long ball, because ball over top to Abramson. Shots away. Goalkeeper collects it calm enough, but in the attack there, Fort Wayne had 4 or 5 guys up on their back line all the way straight across, ready to run on to the long ball. So that might have been a scouting report type of situation where Coach Avery realizes his guys might be able to beat Dayton over the top.
Well, and Abramson was perfect positioning there, and maybe could have done a little better with that. As you mentioned, they had several players running forward in the attack there, but nonetheless, once again, Abramson involved in that attack, and so far in the first 14 or 15 minutes here, we've been seeing a lot of that, a lot of play from Abramson. So.
Here's Harris on the ball. Harrison just misplaces the pass to Lynch. It's going to be a throw-in for Dayton here in the 15th minute.
Kind of intriguing. It looked like Lynch was actually over the touchline when he received that ball. I'm not sure what he was thinking there.
Yeah. Might have just been unaware of his surroundings. Wandered. So the attempt over top, cleared by Harris. Here's Casas. Over to Ajibade.
That's a nice balancing ball there. Kind of slow things down and spread play again. It's interesting. I'm not 100% certain, but it seems to me the first time you've called Ajibadi's name here tonight, and I would think he'd be kind of central to this attack as well. Looks like a lot of space in front of him even now. Be able to play it across and
to the ball.
Looping ball, but just a bit too far.
And Ajibade has played a little bit deeper this evening than what you would expect him to. So we're in our first water break. I would not be surprised if we see another water break at the 30-minute mark as well. Very hot, very humid out here. You definitely want to take extra precautions. Make sure the players are safe.
I don't know how you guys are in the weather department, but the mathematicals, 15, 30, 45 would be the way we divide that out. Just a nice, cool 95 degrees up here in the press box.
My statistician's showing me, the meteorologist, a weather app on her phone. And I think it's probably, if you're watching out there, firstly, let us know where you're watching from. Secondly, you've probably heard the city of Fort Wayne on national and international news. We had very dangerous thunderstorms that moved through last night, causing quite a bit of damage, and at least one report of nearly 100-mile-per-hour winds as those storms moved through. So, as Ken alluded to at the beginning of the match, quite an exciting 24 hours here in the Summit City, and for me especially.
Well, we know those weather folks have sportcaster envy. And so anytime you get the microphone with all sorts of things to share and alert people to, got to be, the adrenaline is probably kicking in.
That's why I'm sitting in this seat, Ken. Gotta fulfill the dream, right? This is how I get to do it.
It has a chapter on that somewhere in his writings, I'm sure.
Surely does. Lord knows I didn't read it, but.
Okay, so coming back onto the field, got to say a much better overall balanced 15 minutes from Fort Wayne FC than we saw the other evening against South Bend Lions.
And I think credit to South Bend, though. They were the more balanced, the more disciplined team.
Very much
that
so.
night.
Yeah, very much so. And Fort Wayne just lacked some degree of urgency. And again, we talked a little bit about it throughout that broadcast that we're vying for the top of the tables. You gotta bring it. You gotta bring it every day. And something new for Fort Wayne. They weren't grappling with those issues a year ago, and so growing pains. But so far, the first 15 minutes post South Bend have been pretty good. So that's a good sign.
A foul against Fort Wayne FC. Ball played quickly by Otiambo. I think Otiambo wanted the advantage there. Not that there was much there to play, but he did just escape his defender.
Boy, Dayton's pulled way back in, basically tucked in their final 35 yards of their defending end.
Right idea from Frank there, I believe, but just a bit much for Lobsticker to get on. And Ken, to your note, we're only in the 19th minute, and if they're starting to pack it in, I'm not sure that's a good sign for what's to come from Dayton, but also how many more opportunities we're going to get to see from Fort Wayne.
Well, and I hope, they stay balanced and spread out in the attack and kind of pick and choose those balls through when they can.
Dayton now giving the ball away twice to Fort Wayne in the midfield.
A point we made a moment ago with Ajibade is kind of sitting right on top of where they're packing it back in, and so kind of feeding through him and allowing him to kind of find those final lanes to thread those balls through.
Here's Otiambo. Lynch. Back to Ajibade. over to Frank. Lynch not able to keep it at his feet, and Dayton's trying to break here. Ball in, falls to Harris, and Fort Wayne's coming the other way again. Out the Lopsiger.
Boy, the last 2-3 minutes, kind of reminiscent of the Cincinnati match not long ago, where a lot of nice short combination, one-touch sorts of play through the midfield, very patient, and yet the ball's moving and changing that point of attack, keeping things spread out. So, again, hopefully Fort Wayne can find those touches in the final third for some good attack.
Good ball from Lopsiger to Othiambo. And the tackle from the Dayton player, referee says was clean.
Get a final touch on that one. Nice ball through.
Yeah, that was a good tackle there by Brady Shapiro, preventing Othiambo from getting the shot away. And it's a corner kick for Fort Wayne in the 22nd minute. Ball delivered in from Abramson. Sprout on the backside. Referee says deflected off of the Dayton player, and it's going to be another corner for Fort Wayne. I tell you, there's not a lick of wind out there. I mean, that flag is not... The only flag waving is the one Forster Ojago is waving down there at the bottom of the bench. Ball delivered in from Abramson. Harris does well to climb up there, but not able to connect.
Not quite the touch he wanted there. He had all the space that he needed and did well to time it, but not quite the final touch off the head that he wanted. Lots of net to work with there.
Good flick from Casas to Lynch. Lynch cross in to Othiambo. Othiambo plays it across. Ben Barkley! And it's a goal. Well worked by the boys in blue. Barkley able to put that one away. A great cross in from Lynch to Othiambo backside, who very unselfishly decided to play it back across the goal mouth for Barkley to easily tap in. And it's 2-0 here at Shields Field Stadium in the 24th minute, thanks to Ben Barkley's tap in.
That's great. Great run from Riley Lynch down that left flank. Delivers the ball across, and always fabulous when you have multiple players who are in a position to get that final touch. If at first you don't succeed, and that's where Ben Barkley kind of mopping up the last opportunity there and made sure he found the back of the net. Good play, good balanced play from Fort Wayne FC there, involving quite a number of the different players in that attack. So great to see.
It seems like they're just letting Abramson have the space out here on the left, and I don't quite get it because they've been burned quite a few times by Abramson and Lynch.
Indeed, and again, I think they're doing a very nice job of moving the ball left to right across the pitch as well, which, again, Dayton then has to settle back in and adjust their defense, which then opens some of that space for Abramson. So, again, if they can continue to be successful moving that ball quickly crosswise, that's going to continue to be an option.
Dayton doing well to slowly work the ball up the field. Alex Frank committing the foul there, and it's a free kick for Dayton.
And I think this is the first time Dayton's had all 10 of their field players in their attacking half, so that's maybe they've had a change of heart and want to play forward a little bit more.
Bowles did well to clear his line there, going through the back of the Dayton player. The Dayton player's up and moving. You can hear Bowles from here. Great communication.
Nice little stealth move from Ben Barkley there to snag that ball away. And here come Fort Wayne in the attack again. Abramson right back where we've seen him most of the evening.
Oh, you mean it's just not plugged in very well?
Here's Ajibade. Back to Abramson. And a foul committed by the Dayton player. And it's a free kick for Fort Wayne. The referee, she's going to have a couple of words for the Dayton player.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Taking charge early in the match. That was really unnecessary to come through the back of the leg on that tackle. And see that center official take charge and let it be known that's not going to be tolerated. A little more of that early in the match Saturday might have made a difference as well. That South Bend.
Ball delivered in from Abramson, and Harris was offsides.
We talked about that right at the end of that South Bend match. Got a little bit chippy and a lot more physicality than maybe was appropriate, but sort of progressed through the course of that evening where the center official did not stop some of that rough play early on, and that's what it led to. So I'm pleased to see center official tonight taking early charge.
And admittedly, this does seem like a bit more of a docile affair than on Saturday.
Enough. Yep, true enough. It's interesting, my comment earlier that we lacked a little urgency in our play for Fort Wayne on against the South Bend team. And, that while they clearly exhibiting some patience here tonight, moving the ball, they do seem to be playing with that urgency, right? Moving the ball forward, trying to get the ball more quickly into those dangerous positions. So it is possible to be both urgent and patient at the same time.
And Fort Wayne's doing well to clog the midfield because Dayton is certainly trying to play through it, but darn near every time now it seems like Fort Wayne has intercepted a pass or at least stood in front of it to force them to go backwards. Harris trying to find out Diambo. Comes off the head of a Dayton player, and it's a throw in for Fort Wayne FC. Here's Frank captaining the side tonight out to Abramson. Good turn away from Othiambo.
Like to see Abramson take that first defender on, kind of create a little bit of...
Shots away by Lynch.
Good quick release. Easily could have caught that keeper off guard just a slight bit, but not this time.
Good save by goalkeeper Niles Roth.
Not. What I started to say is, that Dayton defense was in pretty good, solid position. Just love to see Abramson take that first defender on, create a little bit of decision making from those defenders, and then that's where you open up some of that space in front of the goal mouth.
Here's Ajibade on the ball, being methodical in the back, Fort Wayne. And ball over top. Lynch just had to get himself back on side, so he's not able to get on the end of it. But Fort Wayne retained possession. Here's Casas. And it almost seems like all the forwards and most of the midfielders are sitting along that back defensive line and just rotating every so often which one drops back to receive the ball, just to keep Dayton guessing. It's interesting to see because we've not seen Fort Wayne commit this many men forward in a match before.
Well, I'm not sure it's immediately apparent, but there's to go to Lopsinger on the ball. But from our viewpoint up here in the press box, Lopsinger has his right boot on the far touchline, and Tom Abramson his left boot on this touchline. So you're going to get as much side-to-side space as possible. And I think that's opening up all sorts of opportunities and options for Fort Wayne to keep possession of the ball, moving it across. So glad to see that discipline from those two wide players.
Here's Dayton on the attack. Fort Wayne able to get numbers back quickly. Otiambo doing well to put him under pressure. Good win by Ajibade. And Fort Wayne doing well to quickly pass it around, but an errant pass by Sproat. Fort Wayne gets lucky there, but
dodged one on that one, indeed. And here comes Abramson again.
And
lovely ball, and he is deemed onside. Nope, now
I was going to say
the play just delaying.
And I think he knew it too.
Barkley, yeah, until he touched the ball, then the flag went up.
And he probably could have laid off the ball and let Lynch try to run onto it, but I know if it's me, my brain's not thinking pass when I see a goal right in front of me. So,
well, and I'm thinking just the timing of the original run. I think could have done a job of making that lateral run first to stay onside till the ball gets delivered. But that's the $1 million timing, isn't it?
Here's Dayton in there attacking third shot.
Maybe the best attack they've put together yet tonight, moving the ball from 3 and 4 players across the field, but still nothing in that final dangerous area, but again, a little bit more success getting the ball forward.
So that was a foul against Fort Wayne FC. Quite a few players from Dayton huddled around this ball. They look like they're lining up to hit this. And they certainly don't have a lot of numbers up. Shot well wide. It's a goal kick for Fort Wayne.
That's just kind of a
yeah, things that make you say So we're in our second water break of the first half here at Shields Field. Fort Wayne FC up 2-0. We've had as many water breaks as we've had goals so far this half. Tom Abramson with the first goal for Fort Wayne in the second minute, and Ben Barkley slotting home the second in the 23rd minute.
Getting a quick overview of the statistical analysis of the first 35 minutes or so would indicate Fort Wayne's had the better of the attack, leading in all categories: goals, shots, corners, and even offside, which would indicate that we're in that attacking end more often than not. So every statistical category leaning toward Fort Wayne being the better attacking team here in the first 35 minutes.
And as we always talk about, Ken, the only statistic that matters at the end of the match is the score. But both on paper and on the field, Fort Wayne doing well so far. And I'm not saying this in the same tone Christian Pulisic delivered this message, but this is about the turnout I expected on a Tuesday night here in Fort Wayne when it's 95 degrees. We are on the shaded side of the stadium, but I can't particularly blame anybody if they don't want to spend $5 a gallon on gas to sit out in the 95-degree heat on a Tuesday night. So it's nice to see the fans that we do have out here supporting the team.
Well, we were reminded just before we went online here, several of the youth clubs are holding their tryouts here tonight as well in Fort Wayne. So what we might often see, some of those youngsters out here supporting their FC heroes are out plying their trade themselves tonight, trying to make next year's roster. So,
and not only that, families across Fort Wayne, they're cleaning up after last night's storms too. So
I was pleased to allow my neighbors to clean up my yard as I came to Shields Field here tonight. Appreciate that. I'm sure they're not listening if they're doing what they're supposed to, still cleaning up my yard.
Supposed to or asked to, Ken?
Yes, exactly right.
So throw in here for Dayton. I had to go on a treasure hunt for my recycling bin last night. Lord knows,
we sit at
Lord
the low
knows
end
the city.
yeah. We're at the low end of the cul-de-sac, so we recycled everyone else's trash last night.
I need the city to come out and clean up my neighborhood and help me out a little bit. Here's Lopstiger on the ball.
Not quite national serve-all, but we were certainly neighborhood serve-all last night.
Here's Abramson on the ball.
One more time on that left flank, laying the ball off. Nicely, Lynch.
Good tackle by Shapiro there for Dayton. Barkley and Casas doing well to keep that ball moving, especially in that tight space where you've got 3-4 players surrounding you.
Again, patient ball movement from Fort Wayne and forcing Dayton to chase an awful lot or just sit back on the heels, either of which gives all the more opportunity to find those passing lanes and be creative with your attack. So
here's Othiambo. Smart ball into Lopstiger, but first touch.
First touch. Buffalo touch, we call that. Indeed.
Dayton player plays the perfect ball out to Abramson for Fort Wayne FC. Here's Alex Frank to Casas. Back and forth. Barkley trying with the flick, but not able to get through the defender.
Boy, it almost looked like could have lifted that foot and let it roll through to Frank. He was through, but
foul against Dayton. I thought was questionable. It looked like Abramson hung his foot out, but referee, she sees it differently. She's been calling it pretty square, pretty fair, tight match tonight, so she's certainly in a better position to see it than we are. Abramson standing over the ball. It was more of a rugby style kick through the uprights.
Sure if the Florida State football team was here scouting tonight or not, but through the middle of the uprights, as they say.
If you're watching, Coach, sign him up. Actually, don't sign him up. Keep him on the soccer team down there. Good header by Ajibade there.
Abramson maybe playing to his delusions that he might hit a second free kick goal here tonight. Slotted that first one in the third minute of the match. And
a man can dream, Ken.
Absolutely.
Fort Wayne not rushing to move things forward. Harris plays the ball into Casas. Just had the ball poked away by the Dayton defender. Dayton coming the other way. Another errant pass. Falls to the feet of Fort Wayne FC.
Even when they have numbers forward, Dayton just doesn't seem to be firing on the same cylinders, don't seem to have that synchronized attack that we're seeing out of Fort Wayne at this moment, albeit they're usually coming from a well-balanced defending position coming forward. But as I say, even when they have the numbers coming forward, they don't seem to be playing quite as well together.
Lobsticker had his pocket picked there, but fortunately good defensive effort by Fort Wayne gives them the ball back. Here's Barkley. Just a light foul. Ball's moving again. Sprout trying to spring Lynch down the left, and he does. Lynch able to get on the end of it. Going to take his man on. A poor cross in. Dayton coach not happy with his men right now. Harris trying to catch his goalkeeper off, catch the opposing goalkeeper off the line. Say he's not too far off, but I don't think the goalkeeper was too troubled by it. Good header by Abramson to thwart the attack.
Good to see he hasn't forgotten his primary role here as a left back. Abramson's been fairly stalwart member of the attack throughout the evening in this first half.
Yeah, it does feel like he's been living most of the match above the halfway mark of the field.
Many a defender been corrupted into playing forward. You get the taste of that goal.
You get one goal.
Pretty soon you're echoing that sentiment. That D word, that D word, what is that?
You want me to go back and defend?
You want me to run after what?
It takes a special person to be committed to defense. That's for true. Here's Ajibade. Out to Harris. Fort Wayne working the ball around. Good pass into Casas. Good first touch. Here's Abramson. Barkley lays it off to Lynch. Otiambo ready to run. Here's Barkley. Roth does well to come out and collect it.
Couple of great opportunities to slot a ball through there, and timing not quite right. On the first one, the run was not quite there, and the second one, the ball was just a little too much pace. But again, creating some really nice attacking opportunities at this point.
And the fourth official has signaled 2 minutes of added time here in the first half.
Time for another water break in there, isn't there?
Yeah, you could squeeze one in. I'm willing to bet both teams could just end it at 45.
Be satisfied.
Be satisfied with the half. No need to play the extra 2. Dayton doing well to
Highwayman Joe Bowles bringing that under control.
We call that the high vis uniform. High vis kit.
Another telltale sign that most of the play's been under control of Fort Wayne. We've not uttered Joe Bowles' name very often here tonight. That's a good sign.
And I think he'd like it that way as well. Throw in for Fort Wayne here in the dying minutes of the first half. Good slip to Frank there. Dayton on the ball. Not rushing things.
Not sure what happened in there, but Alex Frank is holding his arm. I'm not sure if he caught an errant elbow and trying to slot that ball through.
His wrist and thumb are taped, so I'm wondering if he collided with somebody there. So that's the half here at Shields Field. Fort Wayne FC up 2 goals to the good. Goals coming from Tom Abramson in the 2nd minute and Ben Barkley in the 23rd minute. Make sure to stick around for our halftime show. Hopefully we'll have some highlights for you here. Matter of speed here, but halftime show sponsored by ProFed. Either way, Ken and I will be back to break down the first half and get you started with the second. Stay tuned. Make sure to stick around for our halftime show. Hopefully we'll have some highlights for you here. Matter of speed here, but halftime show sponsored by ProFed. Either way, Ken and I will be back to break down the first half and get you started with the second. Stay tuned. Chat quickly about the first half. Fort Wayne pretty clearly the dominant team in the first half there.
Yeah, and very balanced overall. A lot of quick play through the midfield, side to side, front to back. A lot of creative attacks, trying some balls over the top, trying some through balls, trying some 1v1, taking on those defenders. Abramson really pushing forward, had a good 45 minutes.
Yeah, and he was the man of the match against South Bend. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up with it again. I knew where it was.
That's good.
We've got a couple of substitutions, I believe, coming in. Beto and Naya for Fort Wayne coming in for... Cannot see. The referee will hold up the board. And also Riku Moriyasu is coming on. So Moriyasu is in for Lobsiger. His night is done. And I think by deduction, what I can see here is Beto and Naya coming in for Ben Barkley. And that is indeed the substitution. Not that we're ever really made privy of substitutions made by opposing teams at halftime, but I think they're lining up exactly as they started. Oh, there is a thank you to our statistician, Hannah. There is a goalkeeper substitution. Saul Fernandez Moran, he's in. And Niles Roth, his night is done.
So,
Excuse me, Sean Ellis is the goalkeeper for Dayton, who's in.
temperature's holding pretty steady here, but at least shadows beginning to envelop the field here. Bishop Dwenger, Shields Field.
You're lucky if you're a right-sided player for Fort Wayne. Unlucky if you're a left-sided player. Tom Averson probably not too happy about having to stare into the sun, which will probably be the next 30 minutes at least. So we're underway here at Shields Field. Fort Wayne starting out this half as they did the second. Here's Moriyasu. Shots away. It's just wide. Goalkeeper always had it covered, but it's a goal kick for Dayton and a good move by Moriyasu.
Yeah, did well to pull that ball back, and then maybe a surprising decision to take that shot directly to goal himself.
And sometimes you need that unselfish play every once in a while just to keep the opposing team honest, if nothing else. Here's Dayton on the attack. Pass goes the way of Casas. Bigfoot Bowles plays it over the top to Othiambo. Not that he came up with it, but it looked like he was offside to me. But regardless, Dayton comes away with it. Ball finds the feet of Dayton players in the dangerous spot, but Harris able to just flick it away. Good flick by Othiambo. And the player's not happy, thinking Othiambo was fouled. Referee says nothing doing, get on with it. Rolls. Miss hits that clearance there. Luckily a throw for Fort Wayne. Casas doing well to put Dayton under pressure, forcing the goalkeeper to kick it long. Here's Sprout. Frank. Here's Moriyasu.
Oh, the Amo. It just didn't even
Didn't bother.
Trying. Yeah.
He said it's too hot to pretend I wasn't offsides. This little turn by the Dayton player to keep possession, but the pass certainly not good enough. Here's Otiambo back on the ball. And Otiambo's pass is a poor one, and Dayton's coming the other way, trying to break quickly. Sauce does well just a step in front of the Dayton player, but he's able to evade him. A couple of step overs. Not able to get through Sprout.
Player appreciative of J&K for the nice, warm reception into their sponsor sign there.
I think I can see it from here. J&K Communications. Always there when you need it. Trademark. So throw in for Dayton, and it's a long one. Bowles able to collect it. Trying to play it quickly. Not anybody there to hand it off to, and certainly at this point, no need to rush it. Dayton has had a bit more of the ball over the last 5 minutes, but Fort Wayne are still doing well enough in their own right to maintain possession. Here's Anaya out to Moriyasu. Moriyasu to Otiambo. Here's Anaya. Casas. A good slip into Lynch, and Lynch rounds the goalkeeper, and he's able to put it away, and it's the third goal for Fort Wayne FC tonight. Riley Lynch did very well to stare down the back line of Dayton just to make sure that he wasn't offsides to hold that run just a little bit longer. And in the 52nd minute here at Shields Field, Fort Wayne FC is up 3-0.
You're right, Caleb. Riley Lynch did a fine job of holding his run. We talked about that earlier. The timing of both the pass and the run has to be just right. It was indeed, and then he did really well to stay patient on the ball, take the keeper out of the play, allowed it to come back to his left foot, which opened an angle to that back post. He almost ran out of his angle to finish it, but did a super job.
And the smoke is flowing
through.
Once again from the Three Rivers Regiment. Third goal of the night. I'm not sure how much smoke they brought, but there's plenty of match left. Hopefully it's a night where they run out. Moriyasu doing well just to deflect that pass, but it's going to be a corner kick for Dayton, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first corner for Dayton tonight. Cross delivered into the back post. Swing and a miss from the Dayton player. Najibade does well to come up with it. And a foul against Dayton.
Well, and I don't want this to be premature in any way, Caleb, but, we talked about playing against South Bend, taking care of business. If you aim to be at the top of the division, but also necessary to take care of business when you're playing those teams where you're supposed to come away with the win. And thus far tonight, Fort Wayne FC definitely taking care of business. 3-0 up on the Dayton Dutch Lions. Going to allow them to stay right in the hunt for that first place in the Valley Division.
Joe Bowles hoofs it upfield, and it's going to be a throw-in for Fort Wayne. There's a player who is trying to be substituted from the Dayton team. However, there seems to be some questions about who he's coming in for. Unfortunately, the question for us up here is who's the player coming in, because from my cursory glance, there is not a number 24 on this roster for Dayton. Yet that's who's coming in, and there are a number of players on this team who don't have a number next to their name. And actually, it looks like we've got a triple substitution for Fort Wayne, or for Dayton, excuse me. Get there when we get there, but it's going to be a throw-in deep in the attacking third. Otiambo doing well to fight and win that ball back. All the way back to Harris just to reset. Here's Casas. Ajibade. Ajibade just trying to slip Abramson in, and he's able to turn away from his defender. Here's Lynch. Lynch, the goal scorer, just trying to flick it over the goalkeeper. And the Dayton defense doing just enough to keep it out of the back of the goal. It's going to be a corner kick for Fort Wayne.
Some nice little tight play there on that left flank. Lynch on the end of the final ball across, but several players all sharing the ball liberally.
Ball delivered in by Abramson. Falls to Otiamba. The shot deflected. And it's called offsides. Reed Sprout in the area. And the horns are errantly blowing. Music incorrectly playing here at Shields Field. No goal, no fourth goal for Fort Wayne. Called offsides. Dayton trying to break quickly, but Fort Wayne back on the ball. Here's Frank. The Dayton forwards are just starting to creep up a little bit higher to put them under just a little bit more pressure. Here's Ajibade. Out to Otiambo. Ball just escapes him, but it's going to be a throw for Fort Wayne. And here are the substitutions. Number 24, whomever that is, for Dayton. Coming in for number 3, Dominic Ruffalo. So I'm told that number 24 is Romeo Yao for Dayton. Number 30 is on for Dayton, Rashid Seydou Arosa, as well as number 21, Lars Vandervoort. So 4 substitutions for Dayton. I think that's all you get in this league. Perhaps 1 concussion substitute, but that's it. Certainly the Dayton substitutes will be looking to make an impact here, but Fort Wayne's trying to do so first. Here's Abramson. He's in on goal. Around the goalkeeper. The touch, just too much.
Can't quite get that final touch.
No! No! No!
Goal kick for Dayton here in the 60th minute. And you had about 3 Fort Wayne FC players looking down the defensive line, checking their position, just making sure they weren't offsides. Good tackle by Moriyasu there. And it looks like Lynch is on sides. Referee's going to raise his flag. I'm not so sure about that, but and I'm not sure it's so much of an offside trap as it is Fort Wayne players just running a little bit early. Throw in for Dayton. Good work by the Fort Wayne FC players to keep that ball on the ground, keep it in front of them. We have a Fort Wayne substitute coming up. Nkosi Graham. Wouldn't be surprised if he is telling Riley Lynch, hey man, you played a good game. Go ahead and get a rest. A well-deserved rest. Riley Lynch, along with the rest of the team, have worked very hard this evening. Here's Casas on the ball. Trying to find Othiambo on over the top. But Ellis able to clear his lines, and it's going to be a throw-in for Fort Wayne. So the Fort Wayne substitute is, in fact, who we thought it would be. Nkosi Graham coming on. Actually, I was confused because now they're taking a water break. But the substitute is going to be Nkosi Graham in for Abbas Ajibade. So Ajibade's night is done. I think he had a good showing tonight, especially in that seemed like he was a lone number 6 back there, but doing well to connect the midfield. So his night's over, and in for him, Nkosi Graham. Nkosi more of an attacking player, so wonder if we're going to see somebody shift back, or is Fort Wayne going to go for the jugular here? Tell you what, Ken. I know all the players have a lot of energy, but it seems like Forster Ajago has the most. He has not sat down the entire match. He has stood there the entire time, the team's biggest fan. And that was something him and I talked about a couple of weeks back. He said, whether I was on the field, on the bench, in the stands, doesn't matter. I'm going to do what I can to support my team. And he's been standing there the entire match, waving the Fort Wayne FC flag. So,
And what a fabulous teammate to have on any roster that you're a part of is that guy who's always going to find a way to be a positive piece of the equation, whether he's on the field scoring. He's, of course, leading the scoring for Fort Wayne FC so far this season. So when he's on the field, he's doing what he needs and can do to aid the cause. And as you point out, even when he's not even suited up for the match, still on the sideline, doing his part. So great stuff. And you sense the camaraderie amongst these guys. They've come from literally all corners of the globe this season and have done well to gel into a cohesive unit, not only on the field but in their friendships off the field as well. So that's a great thing to see. I know it's a goal of Coach Avery and DeMarcus both to make that happen. So.
here's Dayton on the attack. Good piece of back and forth work between the two Dayton players, but Fort Wayne just able to put a foot in there, and it's going to be a corner kick for Dayton here in the 65th minute. And I think this is Romeo Yao standing over the corner kick. Good delivery in.
Just misplayed that ball off the bounce. Dayton had lots of players forward in that corner kick attack and can't take advantage of getting the ball in where their dangerous players were placed. Thankfully for Fort Wayne FC, of course, but
So here's Lynch. Wisely elects to play it to the man who's on sides, Otiambo. Otiambo plays it back to Lynch. Lynch shots away. Goalkeeper quickly smothers it.
might have done better with that final touch, Riley Lynch, but certainly a nice attack. Again, wisely choosing away from Nikosi Graham, who was clearly offside.
Can't knock the effort from Graham, though. He had blitzing into that attacking third there.
He certainly has that speed that he's shown throughout the season, getting to those balls quickly. In regards to the speed, he and Odiamo on the field at the same time, really, that 1-2 punch coming at you before you know what happened.
Over the past 10 minutes, Dayton, in their attacks, have been advancing a little bit further up the field every single time. But it just seems like Fort Wayne's getting their numbers back, and Dayton's running out of players in support there. Foul against Dayton. And the Dayton player not too happy. That's Sidu Arosa with the hard challenge on Casas. So we're away once again at Shields Field here in the 69th minute. If you're just joining us, Fort Wayne FC 3, Dayton 0. Abramson just trying to flick that ball onto Odiambo. It's a throw-in for Dayton here. Dayton not able to keep the ball in bounds. It was the right idea to play that switch ball. Moriyasu was just a bit further away from the Dayton player, but fortunately for Fort Wayne, another throw-in for Fort Wayne. Anaya not able to come down with it. Good tackle by Will Harris. Now Odiambo's away. Trying to slip Lynch in. Ellis wisely calling off his comrades to collect that ball.
Yeah, it's good to be occasionally reminded what Will Harris brings to this roster, and that's exactly it. That good, solid, hard physical tackle, and then playing a smart ball to Odiambo, go straight into our attack. So Will Harris, one of the few remaining players from last year's roster, and deservedly so, really bringing that stable, solid defensive mindset.
And a man never shying away from a challenge either. And sometimes in that exact case, don't go in hard for that ball. You could end up hurt. So here's Graham. Shot saved by Ellis.
Nice effort from Graham there, but
Yeah.
kind of ran out of his angle and allowed that shot to be more easily handled than it might have been 2-3 paces prior to that.
So it's going to be a corner kick for Fort Wayne. We've got two subs standing on the sideline here. But it hasn't been held up quite yet.
Miles Cornwall looks like he's going to get another run here tonight. He's done really well, has had some solid contributions over the last couple of matches. We have some friends watching from Canada here tonight, so I'm not sure if it's fans of Miles Cornwall, but we hope so.
Well, the way he plays, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not fans of Miles Cornwall. And even if people didn't know who Miles was before this year, I think he's gained some fans here in the Summit City. Player who tirelessly works and very smart player, physical player as well. So he's certainly been one of my favorite players so far this season. So the substitution, Cornwall is in, and Tom Abramson's night is over. Abramson putting in a long shift here. And Cornwall going to get a couple of minutes run out here, about 20. And the second substitution, Max Emawako, he's on, and Othiambo's night is over.
Yeah, Abramson, a well-deserved breather here. He's been running those full, long, overlapping runs on that left flank all night long in this heat.
Playing that DeMarcus Beasley-style fullback.
Good evening. Good match for Tom Abramson, start to finish.
So flick on from Anaya. Emawako.
Not wasting any time getting involved.
And the Graham forcing a save out of Ellis. And it's a corner kick for Fort Wayne.
High quality attack there. Just laying that ball forward. Max Amayako running it down and serving a nice ball. Cozy Graham making a good one-touch play on there to force a great save and bring a corner kick for Fort Wayne.
So it looks like Anaya is going to deliver it in. Sproat heads it well over the crossbar. With the fresh legs, Fort Wayne continuing to press high. Riley Lynch looks to lose his defender. Graham fouled just outside the box there. It's going to be a free kick for Fort Wayne here in the 75th minute. And a night like tonight might be a good opportunity to try something off the training grounds. If it works, you're up 4 goals. If not, you get a little bit more training out of it. So the shot's away from Anaya, just trying to get it over the wall, not able to do so. Harris fouled by the Dayton player. Ball out to Cornwall, his first touch of the night. Amawako not able to control that ball, and it's going to be a throw-in for Dayton. Stroke clears his line. It's back in his attacking third already. The straight pass is going to go out for a goal kick. I think Sproat was just trying to keep Bowles in on the action a little bit. You know, you spend too long not doing anything and you can start to lose your focus there. So just trying to help his teammate out there a little bit. We're now at our second water break of the half here in the 77th minute, excuse me.
Well, we're hoping Fort Wayne FC can maintain the final 15 or 16 minutes of focus, to your point, keeping Joe Bowles involved, but keeping everybody's focus and attention, not getting back on your heels and in any way, shape, or form let Dayton back into this match.
Forster Chaco down there telling his teammates 2 more goals, 2 more goals. It's him waving the flag there. Just saw him breathe a big sigh. He is human after all. Starting to tire out down there, Forster Chaco. I'm willing to bet with the shift that Tom Aberson put in, he's not too happy to see the shadows have grown longer on the left side of the field.
Yeah, finally, yes.
Just in time.
There's nothing to go along with a case of fatigue like a good, deep satisfaction that you've put in a good match. So,
yeah, nice
feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction.
The ice bath won't hurt quite as bad. A tough coming together between the two players, and referee says that's a yellow card worthy foul there, and it was a hard tackle. I'm not sure. I don't know, Ken. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm on this side of the monitor, kind of hard to see, but it seemed like the two players came in at the same time. Their legs just got tangled.
Well, and again, I think sometimes the final criteria is the the angle at which that defender challenged for that ball and kind of came in sort of 45-degree angle and kind of clipped Gagne. Just caught him off balance.
Moriyasu and Graham pulling defenders to their side. Dayton comes away with it. Breaking quickly with the ball. Rolling all the way back to
Bowles.
Bowles.
In the match, not too many players are going to run that one down.
I probably wouldn't have in the first minute.
And certainly an option for Fort Wayne just to play the ball around and run the clock down, but I'd love to see them, and indeed they are, still maintaining that attacking mentality.
Graham, good cross. And a good goal by Emawako. Pinpoint accuracy by Graham there, and Emawako, perfectly timed run.
And nothing like a goal of that caliber to get Forrester Jago back up and waving his flag.
So here in the 81st minute, Max Emawako puts Fort Wayne FC up 4-0 over Dayton Dutch Lions, and a substitution for Fort Wayne. Will Harris is coming off. In his place is Tristan Ronstadt Stevens. This is new. We've got red smoke flying now.
Anticipating wearing the red kit for the next home match, perhaps.
Well, and I believe that's the match with Toledo in which they had the kit mix up at the away match. Uh-oh. Bowles does well. To get a hand on that, referee calls a foul, and rightfully so. The Dayton player backing into Bowles there. But
pretty sure Bowles is going to be able to protect his space back there on that line. Not too many folks are going to be able to move him, at least legally, move Joe Bowles out of that goal mouth.
Moriyasu able to rein in the pass from Bowles. Here's Anaya. Nice outside the foot pass to Cornwall. Bowles back out to Cornwall, and same problem as last week. Cornwall is only so tall. Here's Anaya. Good ball into Graham. Cross in. And the ball did just bounce a little bit awkwardly off the turf there. Either way, it's going to be a throw-in for Fort Wayne. And another foul against Dayton. And another, about the exact same position as the last free kick. And our statistician informing us that is Dayton's 11th foul, of which only one yellow card. I have to imagine another one would be coming if we see another foul or two here. Persistence, at least. So Anaya's the lone man standing over the ball here. Gives Moriyasu a look here on the right side. Shots away, off the wall, and it's going to be a corner kick for Fort Wayne in the 85th minute. Nobody in a rush to take this corner, including the ball boys, I don't think, unless Naya's got it in his hand there. There we go.
Well, and the referee signaled to take it to the far side. They had originally brought it to this near touch. Here comes the serve. Cheeky little chip in from Frenchie.
I'm not sure
end.
that was intentional or not, but either way, causing some trouble there. Here's Dayton coming the other way. Doing well to evade the defender. Imawako, great job tracking back for that clearance just to get rid of the immediate danger. And it's good to see that out of your senior players when they come on late in the match. They're still hustling just as hard as they would have been if they were playing in the first minute. Max Imawako, a good example of that tonight. And the fans get a free souvenir. Throw-in for Fort Wayne in the 86th minute, just getting ready to tick into the 87th. Throw down the line, trying to find Lynch. Good pass into Anaya. Shot. Not enough on it.
Lynch has really taken over where Abramson left off as he left the match, and actually even a little before that has had a lot of nice long runs forward with the ball at his foot, creating some dangerous opportunities, forcing those defenders to adjust their positions based on his attack. Certainly not alone. There's been lots of contributions here tonight in that final third for Fort Wayne FC as they've put together a nice 4-0 lead here. Still playing it as if there's some real minutes left here, so that's good.
Not only that, our players making it very aware from the first minute. They're going to play with speed over the top. Nice flick from Anaya to Graham. He's on the end of it, scuffs the cross, and it's going to be a throw-in for Fort Wayne. As you mentioned, Ken, Riley Lynch, Tom Abramson, Hillary Otiambo, quite a number
Graham has really come through here in the last 15 minutes or so as well.
Yeah. All these players saying, we're coming right at you. Casas slips in Imawako not able to evade his defender.
As I alluded earlier tonight, though, Caleb, it is possible they've played with speed both over the top and through, but also a degree of patience and discipline as well. They let the ball move at a quick pace, but they are covering the spaces and keeping the defenders spread wide from touchline to touchline. And here's a case right now. They're using that depth as well, bring it all the way back, force those defenders to step forward a little more than they might like.
Here's Cornwall on the ball.
All in all, a really balanced night for the Fort Wayne side.
A good effort by Cornwall there, just trying to get on the end of the pass. It's going to be a corner kick for Fort Wayne in the dying minutes. I have to imagine we're not going to see a whole lot of stoppage time, maybe 2 minutes at most for the water breaks. Anaya with the delivery here. really able to find anybody, but Fort Wayne not really committing numbers up at this point on corner kicks. Here's Graham out to Moriyasu. Throw in for Dayton. Dayton going to be moving quickly here to try to make something happen. Ball over the top. Joe Bowles wisely. As our social media man has just said, very Jordan Pickford-esque. And that's it here. No extra time in the second half. Referee has blown her whistle. And a nice night for Fort Wayne FC here at Shields Field. First home win in league play this season. It's a resounding 4-0 win over Dayton. Fort Wayne able to make their game plan known from the very beginning and execute. I have to imagine Coach Avery going to be very happy with the performance from the team tonight.
I should think so, yeah. Very balanced attack, very balanced sharing of the ball across the field. All in all, a good 90 minutes from Fort Wayne FC here tonight at Shields Field. Great to see them be able to rebound from that disappointing outing against South Bend Lions, but again, take the 3 points away and come back to fight another night. Saturday, I believe, is our next lineup.
Yep, so Saturday, June 18th, here at Shields Field is our next match and our next home match against Toledo Villa. We'll see who's wearing the red kits this time and who's wearing the white kits this time. But either way, it should be a good matchup. I think it's still going to be a warm one. Not quite as warm as today, but make sure to join us at Shields Field if you can. 7 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Fort Wayne FC trying to keep pace with South Bend. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Caleb Saylor. As always, Ken, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to sit alongside you.
Appreciate the clear blue sky tonight, Caleb, and enjoy your remnants of your meteorology dream.
So long.